Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to WLF1, and finally, I'm doing the podcast that I said I was gonna do like 1,000 times, never actually got around to it, and here we are actually doing it. I'm with Dylan. If you look at the banner on our channel, literally, it's got your Twitter. I can't remember the last time you ever actually went onto your Twitter. So finally, he's actually making a contribution. I begged him 1,000 times, only twice actually. So in this podcast, we're just going to talk about 4 particular things, which is connecting with the audience, 3-car teams, the Halo system, and basically kind of like general competitiveness in F1. If we go into like little tangents and so on, just deal with it or whatever. I don't know if we actually even get through all of this, but yeah. So I don't really know how it's going to go. Dylan's got more information. Like you watch like touring
cars and. Yeah, pretty much just racing of any sort.
Yeah, so, and obviously I'm pretty much mainly just dedicated to F1, so basically, so my issue with F1, so first thing we're talking about is connecting with with the audience, with the fans. My issue with F1 is I feel like it's losing that factor, the wow factor it had in previous years, like, you know, like when there was Michael Schumacher and all those guys and the cars sounded different because they had superchargers and not turbochargers. Like, I felt it was better for the audience because back then there was a genuine like raw intensity. There was like an excitement to it, and people were colliding, and it was dangerous. I think that's probably, I don't know. Like,
I think it was used to be a lot more high risk when the cars were.
Yeah, it was a genuine case of like high risk, high reward. Whereas now, it's getting to that stage where it's so predictable. Like, if you're not supporting the big teams, you kind of don't need to really.
Yeah, don't need to be
there. Yeah, and like I think, you know, we're going to talk about the Halo system later. So, but I won't talk about it too much for now. But I feel like, you know, like Martin Brundle does that thing where he goes into like on Sky. He's always in like like he did that thing for, was it Force India?
Yeah, I believe so.
And then he did so basically when he went, I think he did he basically drove around in that. And he drove around in the Mercedes as well, of like last year or the year before. And it's the fact that, how old is that guy? 50 something at least.
Yeah.
He's definitely in his 50s. And he's able to get into the latest Mercedes when he did it, with the latest chassis. And he could control it with his, you know, he's obviously going to be a lot weaker than he used to be. Obviously he's a world champion and so on. But it's like, and he's talking about how together the car is and so on. But it's like, it's not, I don't think it's as powerful. I don't think it's as like incredible. Like, it's the fact that the heavier and slower, and I think that translates.
Yeah, I feel like it's a lot more tame nowadays than it used to be.
Yeah, I think there's something missing to that. So, I don't. How would you say? I'm actually gonna put you on the spot here. How would you say it needs to connect to the audience better?
Well, I feel like they could have a lot more like interactive exhibits as such at the tracks. Like, for example, simulation and things like that.
Yeah.
I feel like doing something like that, getting the audience and getting the fans at the races to actually be involved, like maybe meet some of the pit crew or even something like that. Yeah.
Actually, it's interesting you say that. I don't know. I don't think you've watched French Grand Prix, have you?
I haven't, not yet. No.
But do you know about that F1? There was that kid in the fans, like in the audience.
Why don't you enlighten me?
Right. So basically, I talked about this on my race analysis. It was a super sweet thing, but basically, you know, Kimi crashed out in the first lap.
Yeah. And
there was some kid in the audience. He was an F1 fan, and he was crying his eyes out. Obviously, he was a Kimi fan.
Yeah.
And he's come all the way to Spain, watched the race, and he's crashed out first lap, very first corner. What Ferrari did was they took that fan and they let him meet Kimi on the same day. They just took him from the audience and said, "Hey, come meet your idol." That for me is a direct way of saying, "Look, this is the audience here, and this is the pit crew, and these are the racers. They are not exclusive to each other. One side influences the other, and vice versa." And I thought that was a direct way to bring it together. So I totally agree with when you were talking about me and the pit crew and so on.
Yeah, I mean, like, as much as it is becoming a much more expensive sport to partake in, I feel like the fact that the ticket prices are increasing by such a large amount, and like VIP
How much are they now?
I'm not too sure, to be completely honest. I just know they are really expensive. My dad's tried getting some before, and just we don't have the money. Like, especially, as I say, some of the VIP packages that are worth a couple of $100 just to go visit the pit crew and whoever. And whereas they could just be doing stuff like that for minimal. Like,
they need to really open it up to the audience. Like, you know, like with NASCAR, they let you drive the cars. Now, I am aware you can't do that in F1.
Yeah, no, of course.
First of all, the track is complicated.
Yeah.
There's a lot to learn. I play the game, and I've only just started learning to play. I play F1 26. I've only just got used to doing it with no assists and learning the track there, and that's on a game. In real life, it's like it's obviously going to be another level. It's a sensory overload. Literally, some people, their body literally couldn't take it. And actually, when I say that, Hamilton sounded in... You've got to listen to it. Basically, on the team radio, he is out of breath.
Oh, right, yeah. No,
out of breath after like 15 laps.
Yeah.
It's the physically demanding side, because they were hitting like 5G.
Yeah, yeah.
But so obviously fans can't really experience that because they're not likely to have like a racing super license. Happen to be in fans, but I feel like they need to do something like racing simulators and all that stuff. They need to make more available, more open, and then I don't know, maybe even try and broadcast that to people, because when you obviously they've got like they're always on Twitter and always talking about these things and so on, but I think they need to do something where the fans actually feel genuinely included.
Yeah, like maybe not even at the tracks itself. Like they have, whenever it is where they go down to Milton Keynes and they drive the cars around the streets there. You know about that?
Yeah.
Like just stuff like that they do is a nice way to involve the fans, but they need to be doing that sort of thing more often.
Yeah.
In more locations.
Yeah.
As such,
in fairness, they are starting to do that.
Yeah.
But I think one of the issues is there's a detachment and exclusivity that they're still fighting at the moment.
Yeah.
And speaking of that, because obviously you spoke about how expensive things are, Gene Todd, I think he's like FIA president, or I can't remember his exact title, but he said he wanted to introduce 3-car teams. I don't know how I feel about that. Obviously, there'll be a lot of changes that need to be done to make that happen. But what's your opinion on the concept of 3-car teams?
Yeah, well, as you said, it is it's a subject which you're going to have a lot of mixed opinions on. The tracks, they're going to need to be adapted to be able to cope with the 3-car teams.
Will they have to make the tracks bigger, or would they just simply have to say there's only a limited number of spaces?
Yeah, I feel like
that's where it would get a bit tricky.
Yeah, because obviously, we've got however many, 20 cars at the moment?
Yeah, so 10 teams?
And then, 10 teams, even if you said 6 of them, because obviously a lot of the teams aren't going to be able to afford 3 cars as well. So I feel like if you say maybe, even if you said 50% of those teams, if they got another car, that's 5 more cars to be able to cater for on the track.
Yeah.
And I mean, as dull as the top racing is at the moment, obviously you get the exceptions like Spain, which was a good race.
Yeah.
But I feel like in general, it could on one hand, enhance the experience for the fans and make the race more exciting. But at the same time, if they're going to have more cars, it's going to be even more of an expensive
more money
sport.
In certain teams,
and then,
like Lotus have gone.
Yeah.
They couldn't afford it.
Yeah, exactly.
And who was Marussia? I mean, I know we've got like technically like kind of got Manor, but like they're kind of a sub team. But they're facing those from Sauber.
Yeah, Sauber as well.
There have been dozens of teams in the past that have gone because the money's not there anymore.
Yeah. So whereas the teams like Mercedes are obviously top of the game.
I think customer teams like actual manufacturers like Ferrari, Renault, Mercedes.
Yeah.
It's only them 3.
I feel like they're the sort of teams that are going to be able to afford it. Whereas the other teams are...
Yeah, like Force India, Sauber, not Renault really, no Red Bull, sorry, not really, but what's their name? Toro Rosso. Yeah. I think the advantage is, one way it could be possible is because wow, my voice just died there. Toro Rosso is like a B team.
Yeah.
To
Red Bull.
And then Sauber and so on. All of them are they're okay, so you're within Mercedes, but you're at just a different team. Wehrlein, he's like a young driver for Merck, but he's just in a different team. I think that would help, but I guess I'm actually going to skip the Halo system. We'll go to that last. We're going to go over the competitiveness now, because one thing is with 3-car teams. Imagine, even if only one team was dominating. Say Ferrari, you're guaranteed to have 3 cars racing.
Yeah, and I mean
each other.
As I say, it would definitely increase the sort of competitiveness, because you will have more than just maybe one or two cars up front. You know, because a lot of the time, I mean, more so last season than maybe the start of this season, it's been a little bit more interesting. But last season we had obviously the Mercedes really dominant.
Yeah.
Just leading every race, and no one could do anything about it. Whereas, you know, if they had three cars, it might have been, you know, it might still have been a Mercedes 1, 2, 3, but it still would have been a more exciting 1, 2, 3 race than just maybe a 1 or a 2.
Yeah, I think I would be. I think one issue that would rise is if there was 3-car teams. Imagine if the podium was 3 of the exact same team, like exact same team, and imagine how it would feel. Imagine if you're, I don't know, Danny Ricciardo. I think he is one of the if not the best driver we've got on the track. I think he's amazing. He's unbelievable. He's so underrated. But imagine how someone like him would feel, knowing that I think how hard it would get, because even though there's another car, think how demoralising it would be that you can't even make the podium.
Yeah, and it's 3 of the same manufacturer on the podium.
Yeah, it would be so painful, and I know it would take something away. It would just take so much away from it. But I think one thing though, and like one thing I've liked about this season is like there's battling at the front, but the midfield battle's getting bigger.
Yeah,
like Force India, Toro Rosso, Renault, even Williams, dare I say, they're not really fighting for.
Yeah, I don't think they're kind of at the moment, are they?
Williams aren't exactly that. Force India are 4th in the constructors.
Yeah, exactly.
They're doing really well, but would that help? I guess.
Well, I mean, I think obviously if you're introducing 3 teams as well, you're looking for a third driver. So you might not have, say, 3 top-tier drivers in one team.
I wouldn't imagine they'd be short for drivers.
So, no, I don't think they'd be short for drivers as such, but I don't think you'd have, like, at the moment, obviously, we got, at Mercedes, we've got Hamilton and Bottas, who are 2, you know, rather top-tier drivers. Whereas they'd be looking then for a third driver, and the chances of them getting another driver that's at the top of their game at the moment, as you said, maybe someone like Ricciardo or Vettel, you know, it's not going to be as likely, and I feel like maybe that would maybe shuffle the constructors around a little bit as such. Give some of the other constructors maybe a bit more a chance.
Yeah. I guess also one thing though with it is what was I going to say? Oh no, I was going to say something. It's disappeared. Ibs, edit this bit. What was I going to say?
Don't edit this. Leave this in.
Oh no.
Anyway, as you say, let's move on for now.
Yeah.
All right, let's just stick to competitiveness for the time being. I feel like.
Oh, I've got it now.
Oh, go on then.
I've got it now.
Go on then.
So right, I finally got it. So basically, you were talking about touring cars and so on.
Yeah.
And one of my particular favourite things about when you watch touring cars is contact. It's a contact sport.
Yeah, it is.
Like you will watch and a car will spin another car out, or they will hit each other.
Yeah.
It's bloody awesome.
I mean, as much as I wouldn't call it a contact sport as such.
Yeah,
we get what you mean.
If you need to go,
if you want something that's exciting, like almost constantly.
Yeah,
like
they're all bunched up. It's ruthless.
Yeah,
I think they're more. I would say more willing to go.
Yeah, as I say, as much as we do respect the fact that the Formula 1 cars, they are much more lightweight and pretty breakable.
But is that a word?
What?
Breakable.
Breakable.
Probably.
Yeah, probably.
Anyways,
I don't English, but I think so.
You don't. I don't English.
You English. It just tends to be more exciting. I mean, they have some teams which have 3 drivers, but where they have limits on the like what engine size they can have in the car and things like that, it makes it more interesting because although they might have 3 BMWs racing at one time, they won't be bunched up. They'll be like 3rd, 7th and 12th or wherever it may be because the race is more exciting. And I feel like, implementing something like that into Formula 1 wouldn't be too bad. Like maybe, as much as it is it's an endurance race, perhaps maybe trialling, like, not on a full season obviously, just maybe in the practices over the summer and things like that. Not over the summer.
Winter.
Winter. But perhaps maybe trying like 2 short sprint races or shorter rather than an all endurance race.
I think GP2 do that.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. And they're more interesting because you have they're bombing around the track because they don't have to worry about tyres or fuel or anything like that. And that's another thing. I feel like refueling. If that obviously that was.
Do you want refueling back?
I feel like as much as it was, it was more dangerous, and obviously that is what they're trying to eliminate. But refueling actually made the race more interesting because you had people setting the faster laps because they had less fuel on board, and then they also had to strategically plan a time where they had to come into the pits not only to get tyres, but to get fuel. Ooh. And I feel like it made the race more interesting because if you missed a refuel stop, then you're running out of fuel and you're going slower for a few laps.
Yeah.
And as much as it is, it is a controversial topic because of the safety implications. But I feel like it made it more interesting. I don't know what your view is.
No, I won't dive into that one just because I'm worrying about the time, how long this is going, because we've got some heads. But I would say, I put my short response, but I guess it's open to debate, would simply be, I would say not so much on fuel, because I feel like this season so far, there hasn't been that much talk on fuel.
Yeah.
Because they've been allowed more fuel, and it, for me at least, it's made enough of a difference that I haven't seen anyone whine about the fuel.
Yeah, no, I don't think I have seen so much.
I think even though it adds a great new dynamic, I don't think it's one that actually. I think that's been an issue that's been taken away. I think the main thing for me was when you're talking about like touring cars and how they're going about with each other. I wanted to say about the FIA's lenience, like. The example I want to give again is going back to Spain. It was who was it? It was the Toro Rosso, I think. It was Sainz. It was Carlos Sainz. Can't remember who he was behind, but they both come out of the pit. I think it was a Haas or Haas. It's Haas. Sorry, I keep saying Haas. He was behind a Haas. They come out of the pits exact same time. Okay, literally exact same time, and he flies onto the grass. He goes onto the grass to try and fly past him because he's desperate to get past him.
Yeah.
Now, if this was last season, maybe, or even 2 seasons ago, he might have got a penalty for dangerous driving.
Yeah.
In fact, he probably would have. He didn't get a penalty for it.
Yeah, I feel
they let him do that. They let him be reckless. There was people there. There was obviously Bottas hitting Kimi Räikkönen, which ended up making Kimi Räikkönen hit Verstappen, and all of a sudden you got two cars who were fighting to be at the front, near the front of the pack. 2 cars out.
Yeah.
And Bottas walks away from it, and he technically, you could say, triggered it. But the FIA go racing instant, let it slide.
Yeah.
I think that needs to happen more.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like punishing drivers for being competitive as such is something which needs to be happening a lot less.
It's so backwards.
Because at the end of the day, as much as it isn't meant to be a contact sport, these cars, they're not made for contact, but any slight contact will basically ruin the car.
There's racing drives in the car trying to get past each other.
Yeah,
so you can't avoid that.
Like as you're saying, as you keep mentioning the touring cars, if they see a gap, they're going to go for it because the cars are less brittle.
Yeah.
And it's less of an issue if they make contact. And as I say, understandably, F1 slightly different, but still, if someone's making a move and there's contact that doesn't really make it an issue to either driver as such.
Yeah.
Then,
well, at least if one of them suffers, it's like that was just. It's not like if someone spun another car out and then the car that was spun out is out of the race, but the car that caused it just goes off and it was totally fine and it was intentional. Then you go, okay, you might not worry about that, but otherwise, it's like
I feel like
it's part of it.
I feel it has to be determined basically whether it's intentional or not.
Yeah, I agree with that. So the final topic very quickly. Is Halo system. I'm glad I put it last because it's the one I would want to talk about. I would talk about the least because
there's not much to talk about.
Mainly because I've got a very solid opinion on it.
Yeah, what's your opinion on it then?
I just don't think it needs to be. I just don't think it should exist. Simple as that. I think people are now so like, oh, safety because of the unfortunate death that was suffered, but I think it's so backwards for the sport because I think, dare I say, I think it's an insult to the people that have already died previously and like they went in there knowing it was dangerous. Okay, when you get into an F1 car, you know your life is at risk. If you go into any racing car, your life is at risk. Okay, I think it is an open top sport.
Yeah, definitely.
You want to connect to fans. How are you ever going to see someone with, like, they're already wearing a helmet, okay? But how are you going to see someone punching in the air and trying to jump out and celebrating, cheer with the crowd? If he's got a halo over his head, what's he going to do? He can't climb out of the car, climb over this to be with the fans. And also, imagine if the car goes on its roof and goes into the grass. What the halos will do, it will dig the car
Yeah.
into the ground.
Which makes it harder for it to be
Or
moved.
make it even worse.
Yeah.
And I get that safety is crucial.
Yeah, of course.
But I think that is so backwards to the whole idea of connecting with the fans and getting that raw racing, which we've only seen probably twice this season. I think that would take it away. Like Hamilton was like, no, I don't want it.
Yeah, no, you see what he's saying. When you sign up for this sport, you sign up
It's
because
part
it's
of
high
it,
risk.
yeah.
And as I say, you can even include stuff like refueling in this, because obviously that was removed because it was dangerous.
Yeah.
They are becoming so safety oriented that it is taking away from the fun of the sport for like the fans and like even some of the drivers.
Some of the charm of it was just because it was dangerous.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I know people that have been like, oh, I was watching this race at the weekend, and it was really exciting because there was this crash or something like that. Not that they were watching for the crashes. I mean, some people might do.
But it made it interesting.
Made it interesting, exactly. It made something actually happen.
Watching crashes is actually kind of the coolest thing to see. It's
Crashes
awesome.
are good to see, provided the driver's fine.
Yeah.
Obviously, we don't want to watch it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not. We're not saying. I'm not saying at all. Oh, I don't want a halo system because I want a driver to be killed or
not
injured. But I think they signed up for it, and we treasure their skill.
Yeah.
Because we know what they're doing is dangerous.
Yeah.
Like Sebastian Vettel, his overtake on Bottas. He went to right, then juked left, then juked back right, and even hit the grass as he juked back right. That's so dangerous. And if he got it wrong, like that would have been a seriously bad collision.
Yeah.
But that's what made it so good because it was dangerous.
Yeah,
you put a halo system, or even you put like that dome thing which I personally I think that dome system thing is actually a better idea, like what jet pilots have. I think that's a better way of doing it. But that's open to interpretation. But like, that still takes away from the idea. So I'm very much against.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't see much point to it, as you've said.
Yeah. So I guess that's pretty much. I think we've done alright. So
not too bad. This
is Dylan's obviously first time featuring on the channel, and first time he comes on, I totally screwed up. Completely forgot what I was going to say, but hopefully I would have edited it out by now. Ibs, if you're watching this,
or you can leave it in. You can leave it in.
No, because
mistakes are made.
Mistakes are made. That's part of the process, part of the learning curve that we have to go through. But yeah, thank you so much, guys, for watching. If you have enjoyed this video, please drop a like. Thank you, Dylan, for appearing. That's so.
What was that?
Okay, so yeah, you're sitting on my bed.
Yeah, no, I'm sitting on your bed. That's right.
Okay, thanks for watching, guys. If you have any suggestions, anything we'd like to talk about in particular for the next ones, drop it in a comment below. Thanks for watching, guys. Please like, subscribe to White Lines Football as well. They're pretty lit over there as well. Subscribe, and we will see you on the next one. So bye, guys. There you go. See, easy. Oh my goodness.